is transitioning from traditional data infrastructure to automatically create, share, deliver, and use knowledge in support of the emerging digital economy and the rise of spatially aware and equipped citizen, which is the next generation. And this platform, what we call is Geospatial Knowledge Infrastructure. We all know digital disruption of the spatial industry is underway. Pool of data and ever-increasing reliance on devices, cloud computing, and open data is being driven by consumer demand for more data, accessible when required, at little or no cost. Adding to this drive is the move globally towards automation, impacting the way products and services are delivered and how businesses engage with their customers. Definitely, this transition requires innovation and new practices in government and the private sector in order to capture the power of emerging technologies and to meet the future demands of users. The focus of government to be away from supply of data towards a diverse and more collaborative information management environment, working in partnership with many data providers, increasingly utilizing automated data sharing capability, developing rich open analytics capability, and progressively moving to the provision of a knowledge-focused environment for customized and real-time decision-making. The geospatial knowledge infrastructure is in combination with new semantic web technologies will assist in connecting, integrating, and analyzing data, and as a consequence, drive new knowledge-based activities such as smarter transportation network, responsive and resilient cities, and intelligent infrastructure planning. The common thread required for those knowledge-based solutions is the delivery of data and information in real time. Let's hear from our eminent plenary speaker on their perspective on National Geospatial Information Infrastructure and Knowledge Platform.
It's a great honor for me today. As on the screen, my name is Doreen Bomanya. I'm the co-chair of the United Nations Committee of Experts on Global Geospatial Information Management. And until recently, I was chair of the executive board of the Cadastre, Land Registry and Mapping Agency in the Netherlands. It's a densely populated country of over 17 million citizens on a rather very small surface. Only 41,000 square kilometers. Water and water management are rooted in the Dutch history and culture. In fact, we were forced to create inventive solutions to build a society below sea level. If we didn't do anything, half of the surface would have been flooded permanently. Thanks to the delta works engineered for the country's flood protection, we keep our feet and country dry. Inland, we created spaces around the core of rivers to allow overflows in water in case of extensive rain. Basins that offer protection in deltas and prevent water from entering urban areas. Infrastructures that are resilient and equipped to deal with the effects of climate change. Mere 2 months ago, that a royal delegation from the Netherlands were honored to visit India. The visit addressed water management, health, sustainable agriculture, as well as social initiatives and culture. However, in essence, the visit emphasized the strong and sound relationship between both countries. A partnership between India and the Netherlands, a partnership between knowledge economies. In this keynote, I'd like to address the main perspectives and similarities. In the first place, it's about partnerships. An initiative like the United Nations Global Geospatial Information Management, also known as UNGGIM, has grown from a meeting of national experts in geography and location into an expanding group of ambassadors advocating the contribution of place in tackling issues in society. Technology and innovation offer opportunities for smarter communication, and I see a growing awareness regarding the shared message and impact of geoinformation. The integrated Geospatial Information Framework aims at assisting countries to move towards integrated and better digital services for citizens. Its focus is improved informed decision-making, contributing to digital transformation. It consists of an overarching strategic framework that provided a forward-looking blueprint based on national circumstances and priorities. Its building blocks, and the blocks focus on policy and the different perspectives and elements of geospatial information. It provides reason why geospatial information management is key to implementing the Sustainable Development Goals, which are defined for the 2030 Agenda of the United Nations. Education and communication are embedded as key building blocks in the framework. I think it's obvious. However, the attention and care for the way for providing the message has long been secondary. The implementation guide. The implementation guide that's building forward on the pathways. Currently, the consultation phase is expected. Partnerships are becoming more relevant, and by learning from each other, be it our colleagues or the stakeholders from different sectors, bridges are built and progress can be made. Third and last phase of the Integrated Geospatial Information Framework, the country-level action plans, will follow. The framework provided us with important lessons learned. All working and expert groups of the UNGGIM initiative embrace the framework. The framework is a jewel in the UNGGIM crown, showing connection, coherence and commitment. In second place, the framework builds upon work already done and is the result of sheer hard work in the recent past. Of UNGGIM, the delegates, the World Bank, the private sector, as well as the research and academic sector. Working together, blooming partnerships and exchange of knowledge and experiences resulted in this level of success. In third place, it's the practical and rather tangible approach, focusing on combining best practices and successful cases at different levels, local, regional, national, global. From different perspectives, be it legal, technological, marine or land-related. In fourth and final place, it's the importance of momentum. As you know, the 2030 Agenda on Sustainable Development Goals requires the need for action. The GGIM community has recognized this and has, especially with the current process considering the framework, show leadership. We, the geocommunication, cannot solve these challenges by ourselves, but we can contribute in evidence-based solution making. Defining simple messages. About what should be part of the solution, as we listen and learn to speak the language of the decision maker and users, while using the tools being used by them and choosing the formats that they understand well. As governments hold considerable amounts of geospatial information, it is affected by poverty, areas at risk of disasters, as well as mobile data that can keep people informed about disease, outbreaks or weather patterns. But this information, though critical for development decisions, is often scarce, outdated, or insufficiently integrated and shared. GGIM is advocating the relevance of land administration to lower this percentage of 70%, a huge challenge that requires all kinds of assets to support the decrease of this percentage. The Netherlands, represented by the Dutch cadastre, supported the issuing of land rights in Colombia, embodied by certificates. Such a certificate, based on fit for purpose and innovative technology, including use of relevant, easy-to-use geospatial data and information, supports quick registration of rights, providing in fact also the evidence that geospatial information embraces inclusiveness and sustainable development in an environmental, social and economic sense. A sustainable case of development optima forma, also a case that addresses the message of the integration Geospatial Information Framework. National mapping and cadastral agencies play an important role in shaping society. Information related to location is part of right solution making. Innovative technologies can, when combined with knowledge sharing between different stakeholders, transform into strong assets of solutions. Our responsibility to speed up and share our knowledge about location, simply because climate change is a hard reality. Ladies and gentlemen, the Integrated Geospatial Framework is a strong and useful co-created guide for development by the statistics and geospatial community, and by countries and communities. Let's see this as an example of working successfully together. And let us hand over the torch to other parties and other countries, to a new generation, to strengthen national and international cooperation, now and in the future. A sustainable future for which responsibility is needed. Everything happens somewhere. And we will leave no one behind. It's our responsibility. Thank you.
So what I'm going to talk about today is around what we are doing, all the exciting things we're doing in Great Britain, coming from Ordnance Survey, the National Mapping Agency of England, of Great Britain. I'm going to share some experience. I'm going to show some real tangible cases when it comes to using platforms to disrupt at scale. We know that geospatial is at heart of our society. We're driving outcomes for millions and millions of people, not only in Great Britain, but in all these countries where we are operating in today, 22 different countries actually. We make people's lives easier, safer, more secure, where geospatial is truly, truly leveraged to overcome challenges when it comes to resilience, transportation, safety, land transactions, and so on. The value we bring back to community, to the society, is incredible. Where did it all start? I'm sure that most of you have seen this. Okay, I know I was here a couple of years ago and Sanjay had the same slide up there. But to understand, for everyone to understand what we are, the journey we have gotten onto, I just want to lay the foundation for it here. Create that foundation of data that's going to play a significant role to us. We can learn, in the sense, from the oil industry when it comes to build, operate, and exploit. The raw crude oil that is pumped from the ground has very little value, to be honest. It's not until it's refined that the value can be exploited. The new world of data, geospatial data, is king, we say. We harvest, we survey, and we capture this raw imagery and the location data. And ourselves, as a national mapping agency, is that refinery. We turn that raw location into intelligence. There's a new way of working through data, as we see, and we play a significant role. We will have to invest much more resources into the exploit phase. So this is our way of tackling it. We have the old build and operate model where we invest embracing new technologies. Automation in map production. Very much with Esri in this, leveraging their software. We have taken 18 years of in-house knowledge, a very manual process, and these days we actually have a machine where we press one button and 10 days later we have complete new map sets. What we're doing in automating our map production comes down to great technologies and great partnerships and a huge amount of know-how how to tweak those processes. But in principle, Ordnance Survey, we can today instantly develop maps for our customers out in the world to provide these services into their countries as well, to make them look better and benefit. The next example is crowdsourced data. So everyone knows about the bird's view down. We're talking here about the worm's view, right? Going from a bird's eye view to a worm eye view. We've done a strategic partnership with Intel about installing in the vehicles coming off the conveyor belt today. They actually have cameras. We are tapping into these cameras and get that data stream that is being captured as they run these cars up and down the streets, right? These are primarily commercial delivery vehicles. We take this data and we put it on our OS master map. Data that we supply out to users out there. Customers and citizens are asking for it these days from a national mapping agency. And we couldn't do this without what's called deep learning or machine learning. So we built our own algorithms, and these become training grounds for massive amounts of data that we then can exploit in other countries as well. So any country coming, wanting to use this, actually get the benefit of Great Britain's trained machinery, and we keep training as we go in further and further into other countries. So we have 3 trillion pixels of Great Britain actually in our own machines. Lastly, working in partnerships. So technology is great, it's the easy bit, how to capture it in a better way and how to output it in a better way. So I'm more worried about the skills and the capabilities and the leadership than I am about knowledge itself. We have to work in partnerships. And with what we're doing, we're creating this, we call it a virtuous and vicious circle, because we collect more data, means we process more data. That means that we ask more questions on back of that data. And we keep doing this over and over again so that we grow our knowledge and we can, again, output more of that. Thank you very much for that.
Those of you who are out in the audience were actually the inspiration for this phrase, which really is what we hope to do collectively as an industry to bring new insights that are needed to solve the types of problems that we've been hearing about already this morning. It really is from not really a new concept, but it's from an updated concept, which is really applying GIS as an intelligent nervous system. It is resilient, it's responsive, it's constantly changing. And of course, humans are very much part of it. Presents and is in many ways a highly integrated, complex set of organisms. And our world, in a sense, operates as an organism. It is resilient, it's responsive, it's constantly changing. And of course, humans are very much part of it. So our world, to begin to address and overcome many of the challenges that we've already heard about today, needs a nervous system, an intelligent infrastructure, if you will, that allows us to sense, to gain understanding, and to respond in an intelligent way. And actually, it turns out that geography is essential to this. In a sense, what we're doing is co-evolving. It's a very interesting notion here, that we, as humans, are beginning to interact very much with the real world and the digital world. And we're co-evolving this integrating open science and artificial intelligence and machine learning, advanced algorithms, and also automation that we just heard about from Peter, to, in a sense, create this geospatial infrastructure for the planet. I would assert that you, who are interested and actively working with geospatial technologies, are already creating this geospatial infrastructure for your own organizations. It actually is the intersection of the science of geography and the technology of GIS. This actually serves as a framework and a process for us to measure and visualize or sense all the things going on around us. It helps us to model and analyze and to plan and design and to bring new understanding, and ultimately to take decisions and move to action, which is the response. And so this geospatial nervous system or geospatial infrastructure is actually supported very much by the science of where. So ladies and gentlemen, I would assert that GIS is actually ready to go to scale. And it really is up to you, your ability to apply this technology as pervasive geospatial infrastructure. This is really becoming a powerful and responsive digital nervous system for the planet.
Thank you, Dean, for your perspective on how digital technology is transforming our lives with the integration of open science, AI, and machine learning.
The value proposition is the sustainability of our planet. I think we don't have a choice. We need, okay, very simply put, you cannot manage what you cannot measure. And we need an intelligent way to be able to integrate all this information and make decisions. The trade-offs that we heard about from Mrs. Thapur earlier today, these are not simple things.
From us as a public sector, a government organization, we're there for our citizens as well, make them feel safer, secure, being able to develop further. And we also want to go out there and, it might sound cheeky, but to help build a better world. We know there is so much that can be done in land administration, on the cadastral side and so on, leveraging geospatial data for people to actually get a better world. So sustainability ties into that for us as well.
Thank you for your perspective, and indeed it was an insightful session. May I have a big round of applause for our plenary speakers?